and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I thought I would do today a pen comparison video, and these are pens from the Leonardo Officina Italiana range, and these are a mix of Momento Zeros and Momento Zero Grandes. And I've had a lot of people asking me about these more recently. Leonardo is an up-and-coming brand out of Italy, and these pens are being seen at a lot more pen shows, and they're also being seen at a lot more retailers online around the world. So I've had a lot of people ask me about these pens and what they write like and what they look like and whether or not I think they are worthy. So I want to first off thank John at stjohnspens.com. John is also on Instagram at stjohnspens. He has provided a number of these pens for review today in this video. I'd like to thank John for loaning me these pens for review. If you haven't seen John's pens already, go check him out at stjohnspens.com or St John's Pens on Instagram. So if you get a chance, check him out at a pen show. If you don't have a chance to go to a pen show, check him out online. So thanks, John, for providing these pens for loan and review. So I think let's just briefly go through these pens one by one, and then we'll go through them in a little bit more detail. Now, I do have reviews of these pens already on my channel, and I have had them in currently inked videos as well. So I'm not going to do a writing sample here today. So I'm sorry if you were looking for a writing sample, but if you check out the corresponding video review of each of these pens, you'll find a writing sample there. So from left to right, we have the Momento Zero in the Positano Blue. We have the Horn. We have a Hawaii. We have a Mediterraneo. We have a Coral. We have a Marbled Green. We have the Blue Abyss. We have the Grande in the Caribbe. And we have a Grande in the Art Deco Mustard, and we have an Art Deco in the Cobalt Blue. So let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So there's a mix of pens here, from the cheaper versions of the Momento Zeros here, which have a steel nib, to some of the other ones that actually have a 14 karat gold nib and a piston, and likewise some of the Grandes as well. So this is the Positano Blue. So this is probably the cheaper of all of these pens. This is a cartridge converter pen. Now, if I unscrew the cap, you'll see here it comes with a Leonardo nib. This one came with a broad nib. This is a pen that is actually in my collection right now, and it's a pen that I do like a lot. Now, it is a cartridge converter, so you can unscrew the body and access the cartridge converter here, and it is branded Leonardo Officina Italiana. Now, these are screw threads, so you do have to unscrew these converters. Don't just try and pull them out. Now, you can also access this converter if you wish from the blind cap, and you can twist it there. Now, these nibs are steel nibs. Now, the earlier nibs, like this one, are not screw-in nib units. So if you wanted to replace a nib, you'd have to pull the nib and feed out. Now, Leonardo have actually started to switch to screw-in nib units, at least as far as I understand, for the Momento Zeros. They may be doing the same for the Furores in the future, but I think that is a welcome move, certainly from my perspective. I do like the screw-in nib units. They are a little bit more easier to replace if you wanted to swap nibs out between pens. This is a really nice size in my hand. You can post the caps. This Positano Blue is a beautiful, beautiful oily resin, and I really do love this. It is very, very nice. It's a beautiful resin, and you can just see there, it just stands out a lot. So that's the Positano Blue, and then we have the Leonardo momento-zero horn, and this is again another lovely material. This actually is quite striking, so this is on loan to me from John at St John's Pens. This also comes with a broad steel nib. It's a cartridge converter as well, and this material again just ticks a lot of the boxes for me. It's a really, really nice resin. I'm actually quite amazed at the amount of different varying resins that Leonardo can get their hands on. They really are quite nice. I did actually have a horn. I did sell it in the end because it was just it was a pen that I didn't write a lot with, but there was nothing wrong with my horn. And then we have the Leonardo momento-zero, and this is the Hawaii, and this is a beautiful material. You can see here again, this is a resin with a steel nib, but you can see there very much like a blue sea with a beach effect going on there. But again, this material is beautiful. This is in my collection, and I'm glad that I was able to pick this up. Now again, this does come with a steel nib, and I have a broad nib on there. It comes with a plastic feed. These are cartridge converters. You can also see there Leonardo Officina Italiana. And all of these momento-zeros, you can access the cartridge converter through the blind cap if you so wish. So those are the cheaper end of the momento-zeros. Now I'm going to show you one that is a lot more higher priced, and I think you can probably see why to start with. This material is absolutely stunning. This is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento-zero Mediterraneo, and this is another pen that I have in my collection. This is a celluloid, it's not resin, and you can just see that celluloid really pop and have a lot of detail and depth there. So that's certainly one of the reasons why this is a lot more expensive. It's also a limited edition one of 100, so you can just see it there. And this is number 4. The other reason why it's a lot more expensive is that the nib on here is a 14 karat gold medium nib with an ebonite feed, and it's also a piston filling pen. It's not a cartridge converter. So this runs probably around about 2.5 to 3 times the price of these 3 momento-zeros, but it's a beautiful material. And then just going back down in price for a couple of pens, going back to the more entry level price, I should say, with a lower price, you have this Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento-zero in the coral. And although this looks initially plain red, you do see some streaks and almost oily streaks in the cap and in the body there. Now again, this, like the first 3 here, is the momento-zero with a steel nib, and this is a medium nib with a plastic feed, and likewise it is a cartridge converter, and Leonardo there on the converter. So again, this is one of the lower end versions of the momento-zero. Now there's nothing wrong with the lower end versions of the momento-zero. It's just that they are cartridge converters with steel nibs, and if you don't mind steel nibs, and to be honest, I do not mind steel nibs, then they're actually a really good pen to buy for the price. And then there is this one, and this is the marbled green, and this is a lovely green marbled material. It really is stunning. Now, this is a numbered edition like the others, so this really, like the first three and the coral, is just a regular momento-zero with a steel nib, and this is a medium nib there. And again, cartridge converter, but these are just really, really lovely pens. But you can just see that material there. It's very dark green, but it then does have some chatoyances going on there in that marbled material. It just is a lovely material. And then just going back up in price a little bit, we have the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero, and this is the Blue Abyss. And if I can angle it so you can see it on the light here, this is a limited edition one of 100. And this is a celluloid material, so very much like this Mediterraneo, it is a celluloid material. But it is a very striking material, and you can just see there. But it's very dark in its colour, but it just comes alive when you actually get some of the lighter points. So again, this, like the Mediterraneo, is a 14 karat gold, and it's a medium nib with an ebonite feed. Because it's a celluloid pen, because it's a 14 karat gold nib, it's also a piston filling pen. And again, these are around about 2.5 to 3 times the price of these regular Momento Zeros. But they really are nice pens. So if you like the Momento Zero pen, then, and you want something a little bit better, maybe with a gold nib or a piston, then, or even with celluloid, then these are a really, really beautiful pen to buy. So that pen is also on loan to me as well. And then we have the bigger brother or bigger sisters, and these are the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Grande, and this is the Grand Caribbe, or short for Caribbean or Caribbean, depending on how you pronounce it really. But you can see why this is a lovely blue and green sort of effect going on here, sort of like a marbly chipped effect, but it's a luscious, luscious, beautiful material. Now, this is a numbered edition, so these typically run for about 100 more than the Momento Zeros. The Momento Zeros tend to run for around about £150, €150. These tend to run for around about £250, €250 or thereabouts. And then the celluloid versions are typically around about £600 to £650 or euros. So you can see why these are really nice sized pens. So this is very similar to the Momento Zeros here. These are cartridge converters with steel nibs, but this material is beautifully stunning. So if I unscrew the cap here, you'll see that this is a fine steel nib. Now, these are cartridge converters, but they are oversized converters. So these are, on the Grandes, these are glued into place. You have the Leonardo Officina Italiana engraved on the piston here, but you also have a click piston. So if you try to turn it too much in the wrong direction, it will click. So it has like a clutch mechanism on it, which I like. And also with the Grandes, you can unscrew the blind cap as well and access the converter there. But unfortunately the Grandes, because they use this larger converter, you cannot put any cartridges in these pens. But it does hold a very large capacity of ink, and it's around about 1.2 milliliters of ink. But this is a beautiful material, the Caribbe. And then going up in price a little bit more, we have these two. So these are the Leonardo Officina Italiana momento-zero Grande Art Decos. Now, this is not resin and it's not celluloid. So this is ebonite. Ebonite is basically hard or vulcanized rubber. And these are limited edition ones. So this is a limited edition one of 30. This is the mustard colour. And you can see the Art Deco pattern going on here. So these are not going to shine as much as the resins or the celluloids, but you do have this engraved pattern, Art Deco pattern. Now these are still Grandes, and this, if I just wipe the nib there, is a 14 karat gold, and it's a medium nib, and you have a ebonite feed which is red in colour. So again, the prices on the Art Decos go up even more, but I think they are really worth it. So unlike the celluloids, you don't get celluloid, but you get ebonite, and you don't get a piston, you get a converter, but you do still get a 14 karat gold nib. And then last but not least here, you have another Art Deco, and again this is a limited edition one of 30, and this is again a really nice Art Deco pattern going on. So this is the Cobalt Blue, and again this is on loan to me from John at stjohnspens.com, and again this has a 14 karat gold nib with an ebonite feed which is red in colour. So again, like, these are really good, and I'll show you on this one as well. It does have the oversized converter which is not removable, so don't try to unscrew these. But I think that sort of really goes to show off a number of the range there that Leonardo have. Now, I'm not going to do a writing review as I said, because I have already done writing reviews of these pens already in other videos. So do go and check out my other videos if you want to look at one of these pens and see how it writes, or see how the nib width writes. Then do go and check out on my YouTube channel some of those pen review videos. So again, I'd like to thank John at stjohnspens.com for loaning me some of these pens for review for this video. If you want to check John out at a UK pen show or European pen show, he'll be there. If you are not fortunate enough to get off to a pen show, then do check him out online. He's at stjohnspens.com and also St John's Pens on Instagram. So thanks, John, for loaning these pens for review. And that's my comparison video of the Leonardo momento-zero and the Grande pens. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.